Hi guys, Ali Taylor down at Heron's Reach, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to hit down on the golf ball. So hitting down on the golf ball is something that I think a lot of guys struggle with, and I think a lot of golfers struggle with it because of a misconception of what they need to do at impact. So in today's video, I'm going to help you get a nice clear understanding of how we get the club traveling down so that we hit the golf ball first, then the ground, but without you having to physically try and hit down. I think most golfers, when they try and hit down, that's where we see lots and lots of issues with poor contacts, poor control, and just very, very destructive shots. So before we get into the main content of today's video though, guys, if you're new down to Ali Taylor Golf, welcome down. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for taking the time coming back. Hope you enjoy today's content, and if you do and you don't currently subscribe, please consider clicking the button below and remember to ring that notification bell so that you find out when I drop a new video. But for now, let's get on with showing you how to hit down on the golf ball. Right then guys, so first of all, what is hitting down on the golf ball? So what we're actually talking about is we're trying to get the club head so that it's traveling down into impact so that we hit the golf ball and then the ground, often referred to as angle of attack. Now I'm going to hit, I won't say the perfect shot, but the ideal delivery on where the club is traveling down. I'm going to show you some numbers on TrackMan, and it's going to look as a minus number. So if it's minus, that means the club's traveling down. If it's a plus, the club's traveling up. But in this video, I'm going to show you how simple it is to understand how to get the club to travel down into impact without you physically trying to hit down on the golf ball. So if we look at this first shot, so we can see a minus 4.6 degrees. So the club has been moving down 4.6 degrees at full compression of the golf ball. So it's a very simple way of doing this, and I think a lot of golfers just make it very, very complicated. So what we need to understand is the golf swing in its simplest form is that club moving in a circle around your body. So for the club to move around that circle, at some point the club is moving up, then it's moving down, then it reaches its lowest point when it goes level, and then it moves back up. So as long as we can control where our low point is in our golf swing, we can control the angle of attack and therefore get the club traveling down. So what I would want to see is that the low point of the golf swing is after the golf ball. Now I'm just going to add another number onto TrackMan there and show you why the club was traveling down 4.5 degrees. So we can see there that the low point of my golf swing was actually 4.4 inches ahead of the golf ball. Therefore, as the club travels down to that low point, it's still moving down and it collects the golf ball. So like I said, I think this is just something golfers struggle with, partly because I think a lot of golfers try and get the ball in the air, but because they then get that low point behind the ball, we see hitting way behind and the ball going nowhere, or perhaps even more distressing for a lot of golfers, that one where we feel we've just barely touched the top of the golf ball. Now, I think that's the one that creates the biggest issue, because for me, when a golfer does that, if they're playing with somebody, they say you haven't hit down enough. So you need to get the club moving more down. Now, the problem is if your low point of your golf swing was here, and you actually missed the ground in order to do that, by hitting down more, all you actually do is you lower the arc of your swing, which makes you hit even further behind. You might be somebody who's good and just does that. Equally, that's not going to be particularly good if you don't control your low point. So I'm going to give you a couple of really simple ways of improving your low point that will work with irons, hybrids, and fairway woods. So the first one's a dead easy one, is rather than focusing on the golf ball, we're going to focus a couple of inches ahead of the golf ball. So I've done other videos on this type of thing. So we're going to set up, and when we swing, try and hit a couple of inches further ahead. That feels nice and easy with no golf ball. Let's see if we can do that with the golf ball. Felt good. We can see 4.4 inches ahead again. The club traveling down 5 degrees. And that would show that we're really compressing the golf ball and then turf, lots of speed, hitting the ball further and more sweetly than ever. So for some guys, that can work great just visually having that concept ahead. I think for other golfers, they need to have more of a feeling as to how they achieve that. So if we look at where you are at address, your weight's very 50-50 and your sternum's very much in front of the golf ball. So what we'd see in the backswing is the weight shifts a little bit towards the right side, but what we need to do on the way down is get that weight forward. And we're going to feel that by moving into that left foot, pressing into that lead foot, and allowing your sternum to feel it's a little bit more in front of the ball as you hit it. So as you transfer that weight, you move your low point forward, and again, that should create that ball and then ground contact and get the club hitting down on the ball. So we do a couple of practice swings. That feels really, really good. And then let's hit a shot with that. So again, felt nice and forward. And we can see 5.6 inches ahead and the club traveling down nearly 6 degrees. So I think it depends. For some of you guys, either of those or both of those will work really, really well. Probably for the golfer who's a bit more visual about getting that picture in the head, kind of focusing a bit ahead of the ball will help you make the move. If you're a golfer though that needs a feeling rather than the picture, definitely that feeling of getting that pressure into that lead foot and letting that sternum move towards the target a bit more is going to control the low point better. And like I said, it's not then a case of trying to hit down on the golf ball. If you control where your low point is, the club is naturally traveling down to help you hit down on the ball. Right then guys, so we could see there, it's not a case of trying to hit down on the golf ball. At some point in your golf swing, the club moves up on the backswing, down on the downswing, levels out at its lowest point and then moves back up on the follow through. So as long as we can control where the lowest point of the swing is, we're naturally going to create that descending blow, compress the ball, hit ball and then turf, and most importantly, hit down on the ball without trying to hit down on the ball. And those couple of little drills you've got in there, either just visually focusing ahead or just maybe feeling that you're getting that sternum a little bit in front of the ball, getting the pressure more into that lead foot, will almost guarantee that you're going to improve your ball striking, hit better iron shots, and that's also going to work with your fairway woods and hybrids when the ball's on the floor. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it, comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. If you have enjoyed today's video and you don't currently subscribe, please consider clicking the button below, ring the notification bell, and then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.